All right, hello, welcome back to another wee bit of a video. Today's video, we are going to be talking about Jaylen Brown. The Boston Celtics were not expected to be doing as well as they're doing. Jaylen Brown, everyone knew going into the season, he was going to be the focal point for this team, the best player on this team. Obviously, if you don't know, I'm imagining you do, but Jason Tatum being out with an Achilles injury for probably the majority of the season. I mean, if you look at what they're doing, they're 23-12. They're second in the East right now, just coming off of a 4-game win streak. They've been playing super well. You know, there's a lot of players who are contributing, but the contributor has been Jaylen Brown. Taking a look at his 2025-2026 stats, they're all at their peak. And what I mean by that is his field goal attempts, he's shooting more shots than he has in his entire career. He's making more shots than he has in his entire career. Points per game at 29.6. The highest of his career. Even turnovers, 3.6. The reason why that's the highest is because he's having the ball in his hands a lot more. So, of course, you guys know where I'm going with this. We're going to be doing a film room review on Jaylen Brown. What is working so well? What is making his game so elite? And, of course, we're going to start off with our scouting report. To start off, this isn't a number or anything like that, but more so just what you're seeing. His confidence is at his absolute highest right now. It's why you're seeing so many shots taken, and it's why you're seeing these higher scoring outings, is because he truly believes when he steps on the floor that there is no one better than him. And you can see how this year and last year you're seeing two different versions of Jaylen Brown. I guarantee you Joe Mazzulla talked to him and said, this team can only be as good as you take them. If you're a defense and you're thinking, how can we limit this man? One, you have to finish the play. And what I mean by that is, even if Jaylen Brown picks up his dribble, this year especially, he's been so patient on still using the pivot foot, moving around, pump fakes. If you're a defender, you need to finish the play. You cannot settle and relax once he picks up the dribble. Okay, first play here. Brook Lopez, attention to detail, staying with it, make sure he's having help side. Kawhi Leonard's paying attention to what's going on with Jaylen Brown. The offense is just coming across because there's 19 seconds on the shot clock. But all in all, James Harden as well. He's on him pretty tough. A lot of what Jaylen Brown is doing this season has been trying to just keep it as simple as possible for himself in finding that space. And in this spot right here, he sees the help side. At the same time, James Harden just doesn't have the ability to rise up to compete with Jaylen Brown's rise up. Okay, so 4 guys on the court are dogging Jaylen Brown. What is he going to do? Does he attack left? Brook Lopez shifts over. John Collins can also rotate over. If he goes right, Kawhi Leonard could shift over, so could Brook Lopez. There's a lot going on here. So what Jaylen Brown's going to do here is he's not going to look to commit to the basket because there's a lot of attention down there. However, what he does do is, I mentioned it earlier, the shoulder shove. Going to give him a little shove here, create some space. James Harden is not as strong as he is, moves quite a bit back. Jaylen Brown then has enough time to rise up. And again, this is not an easy shot, but for guys like Jaylen Brown, it's an easy shot. Okay, we got Kata setting a screen here for Derek White. Derek White comes off to the right of it. Make sure we pay attention to what's going on. We got guys in the corners. You can't see it here because the camera is actually just not panning to the other player, but I promise you there's a player spotting up on the right side for a corner 3, and then Jaylen Brown for this corner 3. So how does the play transpire? Derek White slashing, stops, throws it out. Now, a lot of this might have happened fast to you, but that's the whole point of the play, is to try and isolate Jaylen Brown. So let's watch it again. So there's a lot going on here because there's so much traffic. So this is where all the eyes are. Even for Kawhi Leonard, look where he's staring, right? There's a lot of attention there. Unless Derek White is able to just burst through and get to the rim, the idea here is for Jaylen Brown to flash out over here, right? Because there'd be around 13 seconds, 12 seconds left in the shot clock as soon as he catches the ball, and for him to work. So immediately, there's 2 options here. There's one, you could get it to Kata, which if Derek White was a dimer, that's definitely the pass you got to make. But then you got Jaylen Brown flaring out over here, so boom. So again, there's a lot going on in that play. Kawhi was kind of thinking maybe he does get it to Kata. Well, Derek White ends up making the decision to go with Jaylen Brown, so Kawhi is late. And for Jaylen Brown, this is a pull-up, bang. And a lot of his threes, to be honest with you, unless he's like absolutely feeling it, a lot of his threes are these set shots, and it's a consistent part of his game. Now, again, you can see more wicked stuff when he's really feeling it. So where I want to see room for improvement for Jaylen Brown is the playmaking field. This is a clear-cut opportunity for him to do so. If you see guys like Cade, Luka, LeBron, Austin, I know I named 3 Lakers, but I'm a Laker fan, so those are the names that come to mind. But you get what I'm saying. Guys that are willing to play make, this needs to be a lob for a dunk, right? Because look how much space is going on here. So much space. Hugo then realizes I'm probably not going to get it, so he kind of just stops and he's going to back up. But for Jaylen Brown, he's definitely in the zone, right? This is the game where he dropped 50, so when you're dropping 50, you know going into the game you're feeling it after that first couple buckets, and you got it going. So Jaylen Brown definitely has it going. But anytime you can get your teammates involved for an easy dunk, an easy layup, stuff like that, make that basketball play, make that team play, there's no denying that it ended up working out anyway. Reason why is because Jaylen Brown, the patience here, I cannot reiterate this enough. He's just maneuvering his way through the defense. You have the help side. Typically, you make the pass. He doesn't. What he's going to do is pause, completely just spin, defender not ready for it, right? Maneuvering his way to get that shot off. And now you have that mid-range shot that he loves so much this season and bucket. Is it a good offensive play? Yes. And I do want to call this a highlight and acknowledge his ability to create for himself. But this right here, every coach would love to see you make the easy play. Just get that layup. There's a guy cutting down for the easy bucket. Make that play. They quite literally average the most three-point makes than every other team in the NBA. So Jaylen Brown being on a team like this is beneficial in regards to his ability to get off these set shots, because look, it's a pain in the ass to have to worry about all these guys getting this three-point shot off, to where are you looking at a 36% three-point shooter, not free throw shooter, three-point shooter as, you know, the biggest of concerns. Kawhi with the closeout, not enough. That's a pull-up. That is a benefit to being part of the Boston Celtics and Joe Mazzulla's offense is, look, all these guys are going to be able to pull up the three. It takes away attention from Jaylen Brown's ability to pull up the three and gives him shots like that. So here you got John Collins off of him, and Jaylen Brown not exactly just destroying him off the dribble, but he gets enough here to where John Collins is a bit at his hip, maybe a little bit ahead. But what Jaylen Brown's doing this season is his patience is just on another level. He's going to decelerate here to get the pull-up, slows down, stops, pull-up. Maneuvering his way, being patient, waiting for those moments. And this is where I mentioned it earlier. As a defender, you just got to be ready. This, to me, is a prime example of a defender not staying with it, not finishing the play, and Jaylen Brown taking advantage of the play. You know, you're getting doubled here. You like to see some sort of pass to an open guy, but you got Keita just kind of sticking in the middle, to where the spacing really isn't great. However, what he does is he just stays with it, right? Just waiting for his spot. And so John Collins right now, he kind of just stops, right? Right here, the dribble's picked up. So pay attention to John Collins. He's kind of just like, oh, what's done is done. No, get back in front of him. You need to shift back over to get in front of him, because look, all he's doing is just waiting for a mistake to happen. You stopped because he picked up his dribble. Stopped, he just gave up. I'm sorry, dude. Can't do that. Maybe give up's not the right term, but he just got caught relaxing. That's what I'll say. Just straight up got caught relaxing. Show you one more time. Once he gets stuck right here, Zubac, you know, he's doing the right thing to where he's playing both Keita and Jaylen Brown. But at some point, Keita's got to drop harder so that Zubac has to make a decision. He doesn't. But anyway, you're stuck here. And again, look where you are. Keita is now dropping a bit harder, so Zubac has to make more of a choice. This needs to be a lob as well, by the way. But look, Zubac is still ahead. This needs to be a pass. It's not a pass yet. Jaylen Brown's still waiting for his time. And then now goes up with the bucket. Okay, so this play irks me a little bit, because this is where I say defenses just got to smother him. You give Jaylen Brown all the space in the world, it's just a bad idea. Look at how much I know that he can't. Look, I know that he can't pull it from the logo, but if you give a man this much space, he's comfortable. Right now, Jaylen Brown is comfortable. Don't do that. Don't let him get comfortable, because he's going to do what he's about to do right now. And this, to me, just cannot happen. He's feeling himself, dribbling, steps back. Can't happen. That cannot happen. Sure, is it a shot that at the end of the day, going off of analytics, you're saying, well, you know, he's a 36% free throw 3-point shooter. Up to this point, he's scored well over 20 points. Like, what? I don't understand the thought process of allowing him to just be comfortable, smother him, challenge the handle. Has it gotten better? Yes. He's still turning over the ball, though, because it's not the tightest handle in the world. And even then, a lot of what he does to get to his spots is being patient and being a smart basketball player. Here, the smart thing to do would be to smother him. And no, it's just no. I'm sorry. Don't let Jaylen Brown be comfortable, because now you're really screwed. And that's a bucket. Okay, we're going to get a bit of a moving screen here from Luke Garza. I mean, completely looks to grab his arm, then shifts with him. That's definitively a moving screen, but to be honest with you, it's not a call that happens all the time in the NBA. And then you got Jaylen Brown one-on-one right now until Derrick Jones gets back against Zubac. Zubac is playing a bit of drop coverage. And look, man, you don't want to treat a guy like he's the guy. You don't want to acknowledge that he's feeling it. I understand a bit of this too as a personnel problem, because look, once Garza makes that screen, again, a moving screen, Zubac, you know, he's not well equipped to be dealing with Jaylen Brown, so he's playing a bit more drop coverage than you'd like. A player like Giannis is going to be getting drop coverage a lot because Giannis doesn't shoot the ball. A player like Steph will never get drop coverage, which means the person who's guarding the screener will be way up. That's called hedging. So Zubac was like right here, he'd be hedging. You know, if this was Steph Curry, you'd have to hedge all day. You can't play drop coverage against Steph. It's just not possible. You can't do it. In this specific instance, having Zubac play drop coverage is saying, well, I'd rather give up the three than you just kind of go in and drive it in. But when a player's feeling himself, dude, like, come on. Can't happen. Okay, so there's a lot going here. And you get the handoff here from Garza to Jaylen. Jaylen's like, okay, come set this screen. Sets the screen. Still chooses to go that way because he believes that the screen could be physical enough to where Derrick Jones Jr. can't move with him. Derrick Jones Jr. does move with him in this instance, but Jaylen Brown stays with it, right? Not pretty, but he stays with it. Crosses over to the left, and he realizes, oh, Brook Lopez isn't dropping a whole lot. I mean, he's pretty damn close to me, so I don't really have the space to pull up, especially with Brook's length. So right here, that's not a lot of space. It is now. Right, it is now, but as you can see, Jaylen Brown's more so looking at where Derrick Jones Jr. is. So, seeing the position of the court of where everyone is and where specifically Derrick Jones Jr. is, he's like, I could just take Brook Lopez. So what he's going to do is he's going to just shift right completely, attacks right, waits to find his spot, knows that Brook can't react fast enough, pull up. And the reason why it's important to make sure you know everyone's out in the court is as simple as this. Look. If you're getting help side from this region where, let's say Anthony stayed here, you know Batum's here, so you can't go that direction. Anthony smartly moves away, right? So let's check that out one more time. If Anthony stays here, or if he's over here, Jaylen Brown can't attack that direction because Batum would just have help side. But again, he moves out. So Anthony's moving out right now. That clears up the spots over here. Because Peyton Pritchard's directly in the corner. He's not anywhere closer. He's directly in the corner. So the spacing right now is perfect for exactly what needs to happen. And then he just attacks right. Great basketball. And Anthony, credit to you for getting to your spot, because you opened up a spot for Jaylen by just doing that. Ultimately, it's as simple as this. The confidence that Jaylen Brown has right now is through the roof. There is not a lot of players, if any, who went into the season knowing, I'm that guy. This is my team. I'm not competing with anyone for touches. Like, this team will go as far as I can take them. And he has absolutely just flipped the switch. The shots he's taking, whether it's contested or not, whether, you know, someone's open or not, he's genuinely playing the game at his pace. And it's not to say Jaylen Brown's not trying to pass the ball. I think a lot of it too is just his vision there isn't where it needs to be. A great leader for this team, a great example of someone who, regardless of how you perceive them through their careers, just because another player's there doesn't mean that they can't turn up when they need to. I mean, we saw it with the MVP Finals Award, so people were already aware of that, but they didn't see it for a whole sample size of a season, which we're probably going to get, because again, the whole thing with Jason Tatum is a bit cloudy. If he does get back, probably towards the very, very, very end of the regular season / early playoffs. But again, let me know what you guys think. I greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you like, subscribe, goes a long way to help the channel. As always, this is Ollie Been Different. All we've been different. And we out.